Boy, I'm about to confuse a whole lot of our fans who think that I just don't like dark, gritty, real-world takes on superheroes. I actually love dark, gritty, real-world takes on superheroes. I just hate when they're forced into situations that they don't really fit in, and when they're done terribly. This is done insanely well. This may be the best superhero TV show I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, I just got done a couple weeks ago on Twitter. I had someone who just kept asking me over and over again about superhero TV shows. I don't watch them, like, at all, because I think they're almost all bad. Like, I'll just be honest with you guys. I've given all of them a shot. I think almost all of them suck. So yeah, I just don't enjoy superhero TV shows. Oh my god, this one's good. This one is so goddamn good. So yeah, we are talking about The Boys, and normally when we do a post-Geekout reaction for something, we save all the spoiler stuff until the end, but when we do one for a TV show, we go full spoiler.
Like a series, like, you know, this really isn't for TV, it's like streaming on Amazon.
Everybody knows what you mean when you mean TV. Okay, I gotta get this out on my chest, because this is something that bugs me, is when I say things refer to streaming services as television, and people go, well, that's not technically television. Yes!
It is television, but it's not cable. So.
Yes. Okay, listen. I'm still watching it on my TV. It's still a show that's on a channel that I have to tune into that has multiple episodes on. Listen, yeah, you all goddamn know what I mean. If I say television show, and you go, well, technically it's not. You know what I mean! You know goddamn well what I mean! Stop it! Okay, so, let's get into this thing. So this is based on a comic by Garth Ennis. I have never read the comic because it's by Garth Ennis. And Garth Ennis, I am so hit or miss on because I love Preacher. It's in like my top 5 favorite comics of all time. And that was about as far as I was willing to go with him on that journey because he kind of lost his goddamn mind after that. And a lot of the people who have read The Boys have told me, yeah, it's kind of like Preacher, but like 10 times more fucked up. And I remember thinking about Preacher, that's about where I like my level of fucked up. I don't like it much more than this, and I have had many people tell me, and I've listened to a lot of podcasts where they just go, yeah, there's a thing that happens within the first trade that just made me want to throw up, and I never read anything past that. You know what? All right, cool. I have no interest in doing that. A lot of people out there are going to say, well, you shouldn't pass judgment on things. I'm not passing judgment on things. I'm taking the recommendations of several people whose opinions I trust on things and go, I have more things to do with my time, so I'm not going to check this out. But this show, when you take something that's this big fucked up, and you have producers come in here and go, well, we can't make it that fucked up on television. Tap it down, tap it down, tap it down just a little bit more. You get to the perfect level of fucked up for me.
It's funny because usually a lot of people complain like, oh, this is being censored and watered down, but it's like, if the original source is that fucked up, then maybe you should tap it down.
I have always said, for every creator out there who needs to be given 100% freedom and creative control to do whatever they want, there's another creator out there who needs that producer guy to come in here and go, no, rein your ass in here a little bit, just, move on back just a little bit there. Yeah, I think Garth Ennis is a perfect example of that. Because he's one of the producers of this. He's in all the writing meetings for this thing. So he did contribute to this.
Yeah.
So it's not a bunch of people who aren't Garth Ennis coming in here and just completely changing what he did. This isn't like the Watchmen show that's coming up here. Which I think might be amazing, who knows, but that's exactly what's happening on that. This isn't that. This is someone coming in here and going, all right, let me work with you guys. So let's craft something where we can all be happy on this thing. And yeah, what this show is about is that there is a superhero team out there. And again, I haven't read the books, but it's very clear that they have changed some things in here to reflect the modern landscape of superhero culture because there is so much MCU stuff in here. From what I understand in the books, the main team, it's based on the Justice League, which is kind of obvious in here. But there's a bunch of other teams in there as well that we never see in here, and they're based on, like, the X-Men, and they're based on the Teen Titans, which you get mention of the Teen Titans team in here, which I kind of found that cool, not even knowing about the Teen Titans thing in the books, just that, like, world building. Just a small little thing. You know that your audience will be able to understand if you mention that there was some teen team out there. We all understand what you're saying.
And also, like, basically, the base, where the super...
The base, it's Avengers Tower.
Yes, it is.
It's Stark Towers, yes, 100%.
It takes it takes place in Manhattan, which you said the original comic actually takes place in like London or something, or?
Oh, I was just taking a guess because I know that there's a lot of London influence in there.
Yeah, like
Because the main character, we know that he's British, but I know that well, not the main character, but Carl Urban's character, Butcher, we know that he's British. But the main character was based entirely around Simon Pegg, like in appearance and everything, not on a character of his from a show or a movie. The human being Simon Pegg.
And then Simon Pegg actually plays his father, so that's great.
That was awesome in here. Yeah, I thought that was so good. But yeah, I just knew that it had a lot more London influences. I didn't know if it was actually set.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, they don't just have superheroes in this world. It's a business. And there's producers and there's a company behind it, and they make movies and TV shows based around all these people. And they've got their own spin department, they've got their own advertising department, they've got this whole campaign that they're trying to make right now to try and get superheroes allowed into the military, and they are using just a ton of propaganda, let's call it what it is. It's a ton of propaganda, but they're using like Marvel Cinematic Universe movies to be propaganda on this.
And like, I think this is like absolutely brilliant. It's like they're taking
so good.
They're taking all the stuff that is wrong and messed up in our world and reality, and actually like using it and like putting it into the world of superheroes, and you're like, oh, that's exactly what it would be like, wouldn't it?
This is, okay, again, when I come in here and everybody thinks that I hate, like, dark, gritty takes on superheroes, I don't hate dark, gritty, real-world takes on superheroes. I hate when you try and do that with every superhero out there. But I also hate when people just think that, oh, if they just say fuck or they swear or they, it's shot with a darker tone to it, then that means that it's like it is in the real world. No, motherfucker. Do you know how many fucking issues and shit would be coming up here? And, don't just have, stuff come up and then you completely forget it. Like, don't ask some questions that would be asked in the real world and then just drop that shit. Follow that shit through and get deep with that. This show gets so deep with, the political issues that would come up with this stuff, and not okay, well, we're going to have, senators questioning this stuff. No, we're going to have businesses with lobbyists for the superhero department going in here and trying to make deals with them. And we're going to have not message boards, what is it? Not support group. I used to work for one of these things and I forget what it is. Focus groups. We will have focus groups do testing on this shit to try and figure this all out. We're gonna create all this propaganda around this. I love this, and there's so many things that you can look at and just go well, that's lining up directly with all these things. I saw a review of The Boys that I think captured it perfectly, which I said, it is the perfect show at the wrong time. Because our modern day world, 5 years ago, this show would have been great. It would have made everybody raise so many questions and just get involved in so much conversation. But these days, the real world is so much more fucked up than anything that you could put in a show.
It's you watch it, it's yep, that's exactly what would happen. Yeah, it's happening right here, right now.
That's what would be like if more competent people ran this. Yeah, the official thing, it was from a British paper, and it just said that Johnson, the new guy that they elected over there, is so much more cartoonish than anything that would be allowed in a show that's supposed to be serious. And yeah, I just look at us and go, oh my god, we're worse than this thing, which is supposed to be the dark version of this. Great, wonderful. I'm not gonna get too far into that, but we're talking about a show that is actually dealing with this shit, so. Yeah, all that stuff that they do with the military in there, and man, when it gets into, and again, this is your last time to get out for spoilers here. We don't even start talking about the good guys in here.
Oh.
The good guys.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Man, I love that dynamic in there.
That's another thing that's so interesting about this series. It's the good guys are also very...
They're fucked up. But you can understand it. There's a moment where Butcher is making a speech about how they have to go after this, and it is a Captain Ahab Moby Dick moment in there, and you are looking at him through the eyes of Huey.
Yes.
And you are just looking at him going, "Oh, are we the bad guys? Are there no good guys in this situation here?"
It's that's the thing is Huey, basically audience is seeing things through Huey's view, Huey's perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective. So it's you realize...
Literally at many times.
So it's like you realize, like, oh, I'm doing the good. It's like, oh, the good guys are actually bad, and we're the good guys who are gonna stop those bad guys. But then, as things keep going further and further, it's like, are we the good guys anymore?
Yeah, because from what I understand, again, haven't read the book, but from what I've heard in podcasts about people talking about the book, they've said that basically what is in there is that it's not that they're going out to kill these superheroes, it's that they're going out to keep the superheroes in line. And if they get too far out of line, then we gotta take them out. In here, it is totally just, I will take out every single one of them because they're all garbage. And then there's moments in which you're like, I don't know if they're all garbage. And again, I don't know how it's framed in the book, but you give us like a good superhero in there. And she's discovering how fucked up the superheroes are as well too. But she's kind of making that statement about how, but they can be good. So I can't go with you guys now. I gotta stay on this path.
Yeah, it's like Starlight, that's her name. She's like the new one to the Seven, which is basically
the JLA.
Yes. And like she's, she like came from this like innocent, like quiet little suburban area where she's like, oh, I'm the good girl, I'm gonna save everybody, and she's like, this is her chance to prove herself, and then now she realizes that
the first thing that happens when she gets there is she meets the Deep, who is their Aquaman, and she's going, well, I used to have a poster of you on my bed. And he just sexually assaults her.
Yes. And, like, she admits she was a fan. It's like, so you want to have sex with me? Okay, then. Like.
And then as soon after that happens, she's in the bathroom just like, oh, God, what happened? And then their version of Wonder Woman comes in, sees her, and just goes, for God's sakes, clean yourself up. Show some respect. She knows what happened to her. And she's just like...
Well, that's
get your shit together, kid.
What was her name again?
It was like Queen Maeve, I think.
Maeve? Okay, so I'm gonna call her Maeve. So basically it's like, you can tell, like, she went through this shit, and she's
just so hard into it now.
She's just, like, so numb to this, and she's seeing, like, Starlight go through all this, so, like, eventually she, like, steps in and is like, don't become me. Keep fighting.
She has a really good arc in here.
Yeah, she does. And
she has a great arc in this thing. But, God, there was a thing I was talking about a second ago, and I just completely forgot. Oh, yeah, like, we were talking about, like, the political messages that they have in here when they're trying to get the superheroes in the military. And then there's a moment in there in which you see, like, the thing that gets people to talk about this, because they have got the superheroes. They've got all the evidence against them. They've got, like, their representative in the police office right now. They are about to solve this whole case. Everything is about to be wrapped up. Hooray. And then there is footage of a raid on a terrorist organization, and then it's revealed the terrorists have their own superhuman in there, and within minutes, they're let free, the superhero thing is passed, we cut ahead by like a week, and now the superhero's just out there, just murdering all, and just taking over everything, and then it gets revealed, yeah, we kind of created the villains in this situation to help that thing get passed. And you're looking at that and going, dude, if anybody knows anything about U.S. history and, like, selling of weapons, yeah, man, this stuff happens.
Yeah, and it's like they even, like, created the superheroes, like...
Yeah. Oh, God, that is so... Oh, man, that reveal. That's one of my few, like, complaints about the show, though, is that when it gets to the reveal that the superheroes, they're not, like, born like this. They don't come from, like, accidents or anything. It's a formula they have, and they inject babies with it to specifically make these people. Yeah, I kind of looked at that and just went, that should have been a bigger reveal, because when it got to the point in which they were talking about that, I just went, oh, so we're all on the same page. What? Oh, I thought I had figured this out ahead of time, and there's going to come that moment of the big reveal, and instead it kind of feels like that big reveal was just, you're like, oh, okay, well, here's the evidence of that.
Well, the thing is that...
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing, that big reveal is overshadowed by the supervillain reveal, so I kind of felt...
Well, we get this reveal kind of a little bit earlier when they're in the orphanage, which, that's, again, this is why I say that it kind of feels like it wasn't the biggest reveal, because I remember thinking, oh, so it's just they inject babies with this, and so they're just creating the superheroes there in that moment, and then later on the scientist like confirms it, and I kind of felt like we needed like that, like dun, dun, like camera zooming. Oh my God, this is what they're doing. We kind of needed that moment. I felt like we didn't really get that, but I mean that was like a small little. I would have liked if there was a bigger punch to that reveal thing. But yeah, when it gets to that moment in which it's revealed that they make these superheroes, again, this is meant to not just be commentary on like real world political issues. It's meant to be commentary on the MCU a fucking boardroom is sitting around deciding on, all right, well, we think that the demographic shows that we should be making this type of superhero right now. And
it's like, Captain America, like.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Walt Disney sitting around there in a big boardroom going, all right, we need to start playing out phase 4 of our... That's what this was, except instead of movies, it's human beings that they're doing this with. Yeah, I love that. And one of the reasons why this thing works so well is because the cast is phenomenal in this thing. There's only a handful of people in here who I actually recognize, who I actually knew, but everybody who I didn't know, god damn, they deserve to be in something this good. They all knocked it out of the park in this thing. Carl Urban in here, he's basically Judge Dredd, except with the helmet off and madder. That's what he is. He's Captain Ahab in here, 100%, and he just nailed that so much.
It's like he is like desperate to go after Homelander.
Yeah.
He's like willing to.
And when you get that reveal of why he's desperate to go after Homelander, ooh, man.
And then there's that other reveal with
At the end of
Homelander. It's
this.
like, ooh, like Homelander. It's like finding out like All Might is like a sociopath.
Yes. We can't even go with American superheroes on this thing because they've been tainted too much by so many other forms of media. We gotta go over to Japan, the one good superhero hasn't been messed up yet. Yeah, it'd be like if All Might was revealed to be One for All at the same time. It's like, oh my god.
Oh no.
There's people out there who don't watch My Hero Academia who have no idea what I'm talking about right now. Go watch My Hero Academia. It's really damn good. You want another deconstruction of superheroes? If you want the bright, sunny, everything works out and this is why superheroes are important deconstruction, My Hero Academia. If you want this is how fucked up the real world would be and we're gonna make commentary about the entire industry of superhero culture, go with The Boys. You got both things right over there. Gotta get my fist in frame. Yeah, man. Ooh, we are living at like that perfect time for if you want just really solid, great superhero action, you got the Marvel superhero cinematic universe. If you want deconstructions of that, you got that all over the place too. You even got that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe too. So yeah, this is, man, we are at like just peak superhero culture right now. And I don't understand how people can be mad at superhero culture right now. I don't get that at all. There's too much good out there, folks. Let's see. So let's talk about these characters. Let's start going through a couple of these ones. We started talking about Butcher. And Butcher, yeah, he's just Captain Ahab, but he's so good in here. And anytime that you start thinking, all right, you're too much of a dick, they know that that is the exact moment to come in here and give you like just a sprinkle more of his backstory and everything that he's going through to make you understand. Yeah, okay, well,
yeah,
you are a dick, but I know why you're a dick. I'm kind of on your side on this.
Yeah.
Well, not on your side, but
it's like, you understand. That doesn't necessarily mean you're on their side.
I'm going to stand over here adjacent to your side. I will watch your side from a distance and just, just keep an eye on it, but I'm not going to, like, report your side just yet. Then you got Huey in here.
Yes.
And you want to talk about a character where you understand his point of view on this? This thing, it doesn't get too bloody, but it opens up with the bloodiest goddamn thing that you will ever see in a TV show, where A-Train, the speedster of the group, Huey is having this conversation with his girlfriend. He is talking about how much he loves her and about like their future together.
Yeah, so like she wants him to move in with her and not live with his dad anymore, and it's like, oh, they're gonna have such a bright future together, and then suddenly.
Just the way the camera slowly reveals it all. A-Train just runs through her ass, liquefying her. Just blood and eyes and bones just everywhere, just flying all over the place. It is a gorgeously macabre shot, is what it is. And in that moment, you are Huey. You are sitting there just like jaw-dropping, just...
Like, at first I thought she got hit by a car, but then it's revealed, no, it's one of the superheroes.
I knew it had to be something superhero related because I know the purpose of this. But yeah, for the people out there who don't know the purpose, it's a great, like, moment to just take it all.
And, like, the best is, like, when you go back to Huey and you just see him holding her arms, just the hands and nothing else. And
just blood splattered everywhere all over him. And he definitely gets a level of PTSD.
Oh, absolutely. Like
and
anxiety,
they
PTS.
kind of drop it a little bit towards the end of the season, but they still do a good enough job bringing it up at times.
Like, I think the reason why they start dropping it at the end is because he suddenly realizes, like, his actions have consequences.
Yes, he's starting to deal with what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to that moment where he has to kill Translucent,
Mm-hmm.
and Translucent, he's got a bomb inside of him, and he is walking out of this room. And Huey's got the detonator, and Translucent's just like, I know you're not going to do it. Come on, man. Just let me go. All right. I'm walking out here. I'm gone. And he's just sitting there, and, like, his heartbeat is getting louder. Like, you can tell, like, the room is just shaking around him. I'm not going to say he's not in his right mind at that moment, but he's having an attack of some kind.
Obviously, I mean, like, basically they're in this abandoned restaurant, and there's in like the basement or whatever, and then there's this sign that says "Clean up your mess," and there's like this little baby covered in spaghetti, and it's like he looks at that, and it's like the spaghetti like reminds him like of his girlfriend being splattered all over.
I didn't read it as that.
Yeah, it's like,
I read it as his dad is constantly going, Huey, you're such a fragile child. You have to be so Huey, my boy, come on. Just come back home. You're such a fragile, sweet young boy. And the other guys, they're just like, come on, Huey. You ain't made for this. You ain't made for this. I thought it was supposed to be him going, I'm not a fucking baby. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna step up.
No, it's obvious like when he gets triggered by like certain things. Like yeah, because like when he was at the convenience store and he sees like all these like food brands with A-Train on it.
That was great.
Yeah, it's like, this is the guy who killed my girlfriend.
And he's on a fucking cereal box.
He's on a cereal box. He's on beer. He's everywhere. And you just see him like collapse on the floor.
That was a wonderful like moment of just capturing that feeling of just a panic attack just coming on to you right there in that moment. Yeah, okay, so I don't know, maybe it's a bit of both, but I feel it was everyone kept calling him a child. And
like that definitely had something to do with it too.
Yes.
But I kind of felt like that was something he had to deal with his entire life, so he's just kind of used to admitting that he's kind of a wuss. But like I feel like his girlfriend dying was like the snapping point, like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Let us know what you thought the baby poster meant down below. But yeah, in that moment when he just pulls the trigger on that detonator, you can tell that he didn't like, go insane, didn't become the Joker at that moment and start cackling mad. Like, he just like, which I feel like when you are just that emotionally damaged at that moment, I feel like that's probably, it put us in his shoes because, yeah, we're sitting there with our jaws dropped open too. We're sitting there making that noise of, oh my God, that just happened. Yeah, this show does a wonderful job just getting you inside his freaking head. Let's go, Starlight. She's great because she's going down the same route that Huey is.
Yes, but
she didn't get it like exploded into her. Well, hold on, phrasing. She didn't have to witness someone die to make it happen. Instead, she's on the inside and just her heroes are being destroyed in front of her. The illusion is being wiped away.
Yeah, she lived in a fantasy world her entire life, and now she's being exposed to reality, and it's like, this is messed up. I need to fix this.
There's those moments where she's starting to cave in too, and
yeah, exactly.
She's getting jaded to it all, but then there's those other moments in there where you see her starting to fight back, and just the connection between Huey and her, the fact that Huey formed a friendship with her before he knew that she was one of the superheroes, and that was before he decided like he has to go and start taking all the superheroes out, and now she's formed a friendship with him, and she's lost faith in the superheroes, so she needs like a human connection there. This is amazing, the connection that was developed between these two. It's so great, the dynamics going back and forth between the two of them, because he's using her, but he doesn't want to. He actually does care about her, but he knows for like what he has to do, he kind of has to use her, but he doesn't want to. But you do see when he like opens up to her about stuff, like the moment where he had to use her to get a one-on-one conference with Ezekiel, he had to use her for that for the job. But then at the end, when she's just saying, you're just using me for this, you don't care about me, you're just like everyone else, and then he opens up about his girlfriend dying, you can tell he's lying about that being the reason he needed the ticket, but he also needed to open up to her, and she needed to open up to him, and it's just this back and forth thing, and yeah, God, it's so good. This situation that they found themselves in. This situation of okay, normally I hate that whole the liar revealed storyline, but goddamn, this is when it's done right. This is when it is done 100% right because you're seeing things from both people's point of view. Yeah, I think that she has done marvelously well, and like I said, I think that is so important to show that she doesn't go and join them there at the end, but she like realizes that they have a point, but she's still going to try to be a superhero.
Yeah.
Because
like she's gonna try.
She's holding on to that thing that she believed that they could be.
She's trying to try and fix this thing from the inside out,
yes,
basically.
Absolutely. Let's see. Who after that? I had a little bit of a problem with Frenchie simply because I didn't think that we got enough backstory on him. Same things with Mother's Milk. I think that we didn't get enough backstory on them, but we got another season coming, so we'll get some stuff on
and
them.
plus the whatever we got.
What we did get was good.
Yeah.
It worked.
Like basically, Mother's Milk explains like to Huey, it's like. You just can't go in and expect everything to be okay. Like, this is gonna, like, affect you and everything. And it's like...
You can tell he's been there.
Yes, he's been there and done that and seen, like, how bad it's been. And that's why he didn't want to go in again. But Butcher convinced him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, not movie. We keep calling this a movie. It's a series. It's a show. This show shows you how the domino effect... It works, like...
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, it's like, you can't just, like, kill off someone because they did something bad to you and expect everything to be okay. Like, that person was related to this, and they have a connection with this person, and so on and so forth, and sometimes it even comes back around and gets you in the butt.
Yes, absolutely. We gotta talk about Homelander, though.
Oh, yes.
That guy is the MVP of the show, in my opinion, because he's such a good villain. He is one of the best comic book villains I have ever seen in anything. He is so complex, and you get so many different sides to him, but you can tell he's a fucked up sociopath. He really is a sociopath, but you can tell, like, he's got those emotional strings in him. And he's being tugged around like everyone else is on this. But they're tugging around a junkyard dog, and man, you can't exactly train something that you have damaged that much.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very mean thing to say about dogs. No, you can save any dog out there.
It's like...
But man, this guy ain't a dog, he's a sociopath. Yeah, this guy, they molded this guy to be like the perfect weapon, and he had no connection to anybody. He doesn't understand human relations, and now he's got to go, and he has to be on TV talking about the fake human life that he had and how great it was, and you can tell that he hates doing this. He hates trying to pretend like he had the thing that we all know he did not have.
Like he is pretending.
He's jealous of a fucking baby. The producer that he works with, his handler, had a baby at the beginning of this, and she's like breastfeeding him, and he's sitting there just staring with his x-ray vision through the wall, watching her, not because he's being like a perv and being like, oh, I want to see her breast, but because he's like, that fucking baby gets
like,
everything.
I seriously thought he was gonna kill that baby at some point.
Oh, me too. I have never been so scared for a baby in anything. Oh, man.
It's like, that baby's getting all the attention. I should be getting that attention.
Man, I was looking at that baby the whole time like a dog in a horror film. Just like, oh, please make it out of here okay. Please make it out of here okay. Oh, God. And yeah, you look at this guy, and again, it's kind of like Butcher. He kind of is like the perfect opposite side of the coin of Butcher, because again, he's so fucked up. But when you find out his backstory, you're like, well, it's not like I'm excusing your behavior, but there's no other way this is going to work out. You had no other way of turning out other than being this horrifying monster.
Like, that's the thing, is like, the whole fake backstory is like, you're trying to make him be like Superman. It's like, oh, he was like a good old American boy raised by a wholesome family out on the farm. It's like, no, he was created in a lab and had no...
And was kept in like an isolated like linoleum room the entire time. And the actor is what sells this so much. Because if that guy needs to be charming and be all-American and Captain America, he's totally that.
Oh, yeah.
When he wants to be just the sociopath who just doesn't care about human life, you totally get that too. When he gets angry, oh my God, you feel that. But the best is when he's not dumb. That's what I love. You could have made this where it's his handler, she's in control the entire time. And he's just following orders, and he's like, well, I think that, well, maybe if I had an opportunity to do something like that. No! he's got his own game that he's run there in the back of his head. And there's that moment where he finds out about Huey, and he calls everyone in there, and he's just walking around, just, you've all been a huge disappointment lately. Not you, Nightman. No, you're good over there. You've been great. But the rest of you, just so disappointed, just walking around, just dissecting them. Each of them. Just that level of malicious glee that he gets from that. And you don't even know if he's capable of feeling joy. So you don't even know if he's faking this happy expression the same way that he fakes it when he's in front of the cameras. You don't know if he's faking it right now just to be intimidating, because he can. He's that good of a goddamn villain in here. He's almost charismatic when he wants to be.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which, again, it'd be like if Chris Evans' Captain America was evil. It's goddamn. They nailed this guy. He is so insanely good here.
It's like, I kind of want to talk about the Deep too, because like, you know, at first
that guy, man. You want to give me a character that I don't know what his journey was exactly meant to be, but like that's on purpose that I didn't know what it was meant to be, because it ends on a cliffhanger. Like, all right, where are you about to go? I kept waiting for one last scene of the Deep, and no, we're saving that for season 2. Okay.
Now it's like your first impression of him is like, ew, you're a sexual harassing monster.
You're a predator.
You're a predator, and it's like, and then like, you know, when Starlight like comes out and says like, I was sexually harassed, and
man, when she said that he shoved his dick in my face, I was going, name him in front of the whole world. Just say it right here. I'm stunned that she did not say it. But I love that she was now like using that. I love seeing Starlight just manipulate the manipulators in here. Like that moment when they came in here and gave her like the sexed up costume. I love everything that happened with that sexed up costume in there, because you know, anytime that they take like a female superhero in the comics and they say, well, we're just gonna give her pants now. We're not gonna have her just walking around like a leather swimsuit the entire time. You always see those people going, why are they afraid of sexy women? And it's like, it's not that they're afraid of sexy women, it's that not every female character matches that type. And when you come in here and you say, oh, what's your character type? Okay, it doesn't matter, we're going to put you in thigh-high boots and a bikini. You're basically going, well, their personality and their backstory and their own personal taste, it doesn't matter as long as horny nerds out there can jerk off to it. And this was like a perfect way of demonstrating that, because this is a character that, no, she doesn't want to wear that. It doesn't match her personality at all. It doesn't match the message that she's trying to give to the young girls out there. But they wanted to do it so that the horny nerds could jerk off to her. And there's that great moment where she is with the young girl who's in her own costume.
Oh, I know. That was like, oh.
And she's like, yeah, I'm saving up now to buy your new costume. And she's like, oh, God, sweetie, no.
Oh, no, that reminds me of like all like the sexy Halloween costumes, and like how like a lot of them are like for like younger kids, and it's like, no.
I remember seeing that, like there was some chart that I saw online like several years ago that was boys' costumes at age 5, 10, 13, and 18. And then it was girls' costumes 5, 10, 13, 18. And it was like the same thing. It was meant to be like a superhero costume for both of them. And with the girls' costume, like it just, like the moment it hit like 13, it got skimpy and it was disgusting.
It was like.
And then you look at this, and when it gets in that moment, yeah, again, it's one of those things where, like in the comics, and it's like, okay, well, why can't I see the butt of this female character? Because she's supposed to be an inspiration. Because they want young girls to dress up as her for Halloween.
And
they
we
need
don't
to give
want
her a fucking costume where they can do that. It's what? How do you not get this shit? All right, sorry. All right, moving away from that.
So like back to the Deep, it's like, it's really amazing how like they make this person who's like a sexual deviant and a sleazebag, and you start feeling sympathetic for him.
Anytime that you beat someone down enough and humiliate them enough, it's going to make you eventually kind of like look at them and just, well, okay, hold on. I'm going to rephrase that. If you can beat someone down and then get the audience inside their head, it makes it so that you can look at them and be like, God damn, I know you're a complete sack of shit. I know you do, but you're giving me dimensions. And it's hard to hate someone when you know that they have dimensions to them.
Yeah, like he's an environmentalist. Like he's able to like talk to like
You
marine
actually see him,
life.
like caring about like wanting to free the dolphins who
Yes.
have been mistreated at SeaWorld. And then you see like he's being forced to do commercials for SeaWorld when he knows that the animals there are being mistreated and he wants to try and help them. And you're looking at this going, that's a thing that I kind of agree with you on, and I hate you.
And like another thing is like the rest of the team, like the Seven kind of treats him as a joke. It's like, oh, you're just
Like he's Aquaman.
yeah, you're just a fish guy, and like no one really cares about like what's happening with the marine life or like the environment or anything because they're busy with the people
Yes.
and everything. But he's like, no, this affects us too, and we need to like help out all life and everything.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I agree with you, but once again, you're still kind of a shithead.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like, don't make me agree with the absolute piece of shit. But as we were just talking about with Homelander, who's a complete and total sociopath, anytime that you can give the audience something to grab onto, like the baby blanket for Homelander, when you see like what that means to him, it's like, oh fuck, there's a thing I can grab onto with Homelander now. Anytime that you can give the audience something to grab onto with someone, it makes them a better character.
And like that's what makes the show so great. It's like there's so much gray, and you
Yes.
understand.
Oh my God.
You
Yes.
understand so many other people's perspectives, and that's exactly what it's like in the real world. It's like there is no pure good or pure evil. You understand that people have different sides and different reasons and different backstories for like the reasons why they do things.
This show is like the perfect incarnation of looking at a world that is just really fucked up. And that's another one of those reasons why I come down so often on the dark, gritty, real world takes on superheroes, because they try and go, yeah, the world's really fucked up. And when, no, there's like shades of gray and there's backs and forths and stuff, and there's differences out there, but not everything is quite fucked up, and at least not everything is fucked up to the exact same level in the exact same way. And this show, everyone is damaged. Everyone is damaged. But in different ways, to different degrees. They all have different views on things. They're all so incredibly deep. They all feel like they have had lives that they have led that have gotten them to this point. Nothing feels like it happened because it was written in a script.
Yeah.
Which is great for this. Yeah, these characters, you feel for them so goddamn much. And again, nothing in there, like that's another problem that I have with the dark, gritty, real world take on superheroes. So often when they try and do that, they will do stuff, and you look at it and go, that was put in there solely just to make this the dark, gritty, real world take. Everything in here, it feels like it happened for a reason. Everything that happened to these characters feels like it happened because they're real characters that have lived these existences. Like A-Train. The stuff with him and Popclaw, man, you get, like, it looks like he's doing absolutely evil things. And he is doing absolutely evil things with Popclaw.
Yeah.
When he goes in there and he kills her, because that's what needed to happen so that evidence didn't get out that he was using this drug, that he was using this superhero steroid. But then when it gets to those moments where you see him talking about how, if I don't win this race, I'm not the fastest superhero anymore. And then I'm off the 7. And then I'm nothing. And then you see all these other moments, like after he ends up getting his leg broken, where you see the guy who he raced against, he's now got all the shoe commercials, he's got all these things going for him, and you've got all these people going, whatever happened to that guy? And then, he was a giant, massive celebrity, and now the security guard is walking around after him inside this store, because he's just a black guy now in a store, and a security guard, he's not going to respect him. He's going to come up to him and be racist and be like, all right, what do you think you're doing in here? And yeah, you look at him in that moment and you're just like, oh my God, this guy, you didn't realize how much he had to lose. And now it makes you look back at how desperate he was and the things that he did out of desperation, that it makes you, again, not agree with it, but understand it. And I think that's the best kinds of shitty characters. The best shitty characters out there are the ones where you don't agree with the things they did, but you understand their motivations. You understand how they got to this point, and this show is nothing but that.
It's like, I think the only, like, superhero we don't get any backstory on is, like, Dark Noir.
That's what it was.
But I think that's the
on
whole
purpose.
point. That
He's a joke, yeah.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yes, but it's like...
Either that or he's gonna have the biggest fucked up backstory.
It's possible. I mean, there's definitely, like, gonna be another season and everything,
Oh,
so...
this thing got great ratings. Yeah. This thing's gonna do insanely well.
Speaking of which, should we, like, talk about, like, the Asian girl, or...
Yeah, because she kind of does tie into the whole they're creating villains for these shows, and it makes it clear that they, even before the guy who first appeared, they were trying to create other villains out there to fight back against American troops to try and get this bill passed to get superheroes in the military. Yeah, I found it to be interesting, but she does have a backstory in there. She does, but because she can't talk yet, she can't, like... Most of the stuff that I love about these characters were their exchanges with other characters, and you didn't really get that much of it in here simply because of that.
Yeah.
So I want to see way more of her in the next season.
Yeah.
I want to see where she goes, but I didn't get enough from her in season 1 to be able to really, like, give that much of an opinion on her.
Yeah, like, her and, like, you know, Black Noir, like you said, like, the characters that don't really talk, we don't really get a lot of information on.
Yeah.
And I think that, once again, that's kind of the whole point.
Yes. Yeah, with her, it serves, like, her backstory. With Noir, I feel like it was a joke, but I'm okay with that because it's like, okay, there's just that one guy there, and who knows what is coming up with him later on. And there were some good jokes with him when he was, like, at the party and trying to get that one waiter's attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Which, I thought he was just gonna be a joke, period. But, so when it gets to that moment where he is actually fighting and slashing up Kimiko, that was her name?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, we were slashing up Kimiko. Yeah, man, I was actually shocked at that. I didn't expect him to start kicking ass. But let's see. I think we've talked about most members of the Seven at this point. Man, trying to think of any other big important things to talk about in here.
Like the ending, the season finale.
Season finale. Oh God, yeah, the big reveal. Ooh, the producer who is played by, I think it's Elizabeth Shue who plays her. I looked it up. I remember it was some actress who, when I looked her up, I went, oh my goodness, I was wondering what had happened to her. But yeah, I think it was Elizabeth Shue. There's that moment where Butcher is going to just take her out, which, before we even get to this, I love that it gets revealed in Butcher's past. He was Huey at one point.
Yes.
After the terrible thing that happened to him, to the person that he loved, this mystery person just showed up with a business card, claiming to work for the government, and didn't really work for the government, but was actually just there trying to form her own team, form her own version of the boys. The boys version 1, and you get that's where Frenchie and that's where Mother's Milk came from.
So like, I kind of felt like she was trying to, like, make, like, do, like, this universe's version of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something like that. Or...
Oh, because the thing that I kept looking at the boys as in here, I kept thinking, this is like a genius take on the Masters of Evil or the Injustice game. It's the supervillain team that has come together with their own motivations and own hatred of each of these different heroes, and they have been studying the specific ways to take them down.
I guess so, but it's like, they don't have any superpowers.
Which is what makes it so interesting to me, yes. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I love when we get to go and meet her, and she is only in it for this one goddamn episode, and she's one of the MVPs of the entire season. That monologue that she makes about how, like, basically her life is over with now. She was gonna get revenge on all this, but things went awry, and now she is basically under permanent house arrest in this one house, and all she can do is just watch fucking birds every single day. Because when you get there, she's just watching these birds, and she says that she's taking up bird watching, and you think, okay, I guess she's peacefully retired. Maybe this is like a quirky hobby for this crazy person to have, you know, something to give her some depth. But then when she's going on this monologue about how everything is wasted from her life now, and she says that all that she has left is watching fucking birds, you realize that's the only thing she can do here. And she's not doing it because she likes it. It's just kind of out of necessity because it's all she's got now. Man, they even gave, like, bird watching depth in here. But she gives Butcher the hint in order to go and attack the producer. And
like, basically, like, you had to find the weak point, and it's not always.
He
like,
has no physical weak point. There's no kryptonite in here. It's his
emotional,
connection.
Yes.
It's his connection to this. I don't want to frame it like this, but it is like a mother figure to him.
Yeah, it's
There's definitely that scene in there.
He definitely has mommy issues.
A lot. Yeah. So it gets to that moment where Butcher's got her tied up, and he's waiting for Homelander to come in. Homelander comes in. Before this, he stopped off at the scientist who created him. And again, this is one of the weird things about the show. They will address things like the scientist who created Homelander, but they don't like stop to really say, this is the man who created Homelander. They have the scenes play out like it actually will in the real world, where they already know all this information, they already have this history between each other, which is another thing that makes this all feel so real.
Yes, there's like no like awkward conversation explaining the backstory.
So you remember when we did this thing back in the, yeah, there's nothing really like that. But he went back to him, and he's been to him a few times, and eventually after Homelander realizes your stories aren't quite matching up. Because what happens is that Homelander raped Butcher's wife, and then she just got up and left, and like no one knows what happened. It's been
like 8 years?
Oh, it's been like 10 years, I think, at this point. It's been a long time. So everyone has kind of accepted she's dead at this point.
And Butcher thinks that Homelander killed her, or like driven her to commit suicide or something.
One or the other, which in that case, it's still Homelander's
fault.
So that's why he's got this big revenge thing
big
going.
Vendetta against him.
The big vendetta against him. So it's revealed in here that she didn't really die, she got pregnant, even though they thought Homelander couldn't have a child. And then the scientist says that she died giving birth and the child drowned in the blood, but then the producer says it was a miscarriage, and Homelander's like, hold on. So he goes and he finds out about this, and he comes in there and he's holding the baby, which again, just the entire time you're watching the baby, like, don't
oh God, please don't.
That baby alone. But I didn't even think about this until way after that final episode was done. Did the baby die in the explosion?
I don't know.
I guess it did.
It's possible, but like, it could also be revealed.
Yeah.
Yeah, in next season, like, yeah, just.
I know someone might go, well, in the comic it happened like this. Dude, we are off the comic at this point. I know there's still things that happen in the comic that are going to still happen in here. Like, I have seen, this was a surprise to me, but I have seen a cover to an issue that made me go, oh, so that's what this was all about. But I didn't see it coming in here. I did not, like, put those pieces together. But at the end of this, Butcher just blows the whole place up, which again, I say this is meant to be like, we're rooting for the Masters of Evil. The leader's name is Butcher. Yeah, he's kind of a villain.
Well, that's his last name, but also...
Yeah, man, it's a lot of supervillains' last names turn out to be, I was like, my name is Eric Magnus, so I am Magneto. I know his name is actually Eric Letcher.
I'm Dr. Doom. Nice to meet you.
Why did I not go with that one? Why did I not go with that one? Yes. Okay. But yeah, he then takes him, like, after he blows up the house, Butcher wakes up on this, like, green front lawn,
like
and Homelander's just there like, hey, buddy, how's it going? And you can tell that Butcher, this guy who's dedicated his life to just hunt this guy down, he is so insignificant to Homelander that he doesn't care that he set up an elaborate trap to try and kill him. He's just like, hey, man, how's it going? Just buddy with this guy. And he goes, yeah, so you might want to see what's about to happen here, too. This kid comes out, and then Butcher's wife comes out. Which, did you realize the wife was going to pop out after the kid, before she appeared, after the kid popped out? Because as soon as the kid appeared, I went, oh, God, I know the next reveal that's coming here.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, even the kid looks like a young Homelander, so it's like...
Yeah, I knew that's what that was, yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, Peach.
You two have talked too long and too loud.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm trying to nap. All right, yeah, we're about to wrap this up.
Yeah.
But yeah, comes out and he goes, I'm your dad, kid. And then the wife is there and looks and sees Butcher. Oh my God.
Oof.
That is the best goddamn cliffhanger.
And like, that's the thing, it's like, now Butcher can't kill Homelander because that would be like murdering like his...
Oh no, he can still try to, but he doesn't, his one plan is gone. He doesn't know what to do now. So yeah, he doesn't know how he could possibly do it, but also his wife is still alive, and it makes me wonder, okay, what's the reveal on this going to be? Was it that Homelander raped her and she had to sign that non-disclosure agreement that they mentioned, so she did have to flee, and that got her protection from Homelander so that he could never find her again? Or could it maybe be that Homelander didn't rape her?
Like that she wanted to have sex with him.
And she cheated on Butcher with her.
Yeah, and she just felt so guilty that she couldn't face him again.
Well, and also, they did not want Homelander to know that she was pregnant with his child.
Yes.
Yeah, I can totally see them looking at Homelander going, you are too goddamn unstable to be a dad. We're not going to let this happen. So, yeah, that raises questions about, okay, what actually happened that night? But I also like, what's this weird family dynamic going to be like now? But I also just want to know what's going to happen with A-Train. Because A-Train, he now knows who Huey is.
Yeah, but it's like he had a heart attack, so like, did he survive?
Oh, he definitely survived. There's no way he's going to kill him off screen, which I gotta say, that moment was not, out of all the moments in this season that I had a little bit of a problem with, that's the big one that I felt that was not anticlimactic, but just the way that was shot, just the way it was done.
It was like too obvious?
Not too obvious, but just like the way that it was set up. Like him going up there and just, it was just framed weird. It was just framed weird, it was just paced weird. It was a good thing to have happen, and on paper it was good. I just think it was kind of shot kind of poorly. That was my one kind of complaint about that. But yeah, now that thing ended with him admitting Popclaw, he's the one that killed her. So is he going to have to now face this? Is he going to have to like go through his own like character arc now in season 2, in which he has to think about, okay, I did all these terrible things and I'm no longer a hero and I've fucked up so much I can never be a hero anymore.
Like, is he going to be in the same boat as the Deep, basically?
Yes, which is my next question. What's happening to the Deep? Because I kept waiting for one more scene after that.
Yeah.
And it ends with him shaving his head after he has hit rock bottom, and it just makes you go, okay, is he going to go full-blown supervillain? Is he gonna just have a mental collapse? Are we gonna cut back to him like 6 months later, and now he's out of shape, walking around in a bathroom at all times? What's going to happen to this guy? Yeah, I had many questions about what was coming up. And we have to remember the superhero thing with them being in the military and all that stuff. Homelander doesn't give a shit about that anymore. What's going to happen with that now? And Homelander, he now knows all the dirty secrets. And the one person reining his ass in,
he just murdered.
He murdered her. What's he gonna do in season 2? I can see him maybe going, well, I'm going to now get that normal family life that I always wanted. You know that shit ain't gonna work out if he tries to do that. So what's gonna happen? Yeah, I have so many questions.
Yes.
God, I am so excited for this. I'm not gonna read the book because this show is so good. I'm gonna wait to see what happens in the show. Yeah, I am not gonna wait for this. From what I understand, I was talking to someone recently on a show I was on, and they mentioned that apparently in the book, the boys actually start using the V stuff, but we've already passed the point where they started doing that, so they're clearly not going to do that. Good. I want to see them taking out these superheroes with their smarts. I want to see them like taking them out with their brains and emotional trauma. That's what I want to see happen. So yeah, man, I love this show. This is a goddamn 10 out of 10 for me.
Oh yeah.
This is a as far as not just superhero shows go, but just shows go. This is a 10 out of goddamn 10 for me. The only problems I have is that the fight scenes are pretty poorly edited. That's all I got, man.
Honestly, it's hard to like edit good fight scenes.
Listen, man, if they did really good fight scenes, their budget would be like through the fucking roof.
Exactly.
You had to make cuts where you had to make cuts in order to make the rest of the show look good. Done. Good. You guys did. Yeah, this is a goddamn 10 out of 10. I love this thing. So, yeah, I cannot wait for season 2 of this. This makes me want to go back and watch that Preacher show that they did because it's the same producer. It's still fucking Seth Rogen involved in all this stuff. So, oh man, I watched the first episode of that. I didn't really care for it. Didn't really like it all that much. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I gotta go back and give that a second shot. I don't know. Yeah, man, this is the best dark, gritty, real-world take on superheroes I've ever seen. This is the best superhero TV show I've ever seen. This is one of the best TV shows of the entire year I've seen. This justified my Amazon Prime. This is really damn good. So yeah, let us know what you thought in the comments down below. Speaking of other things on streaming services, we will be back tomorrow to talk about that Rocco's Modern Life show.
I thought that was on Netflix.
I said on streaming services.
Oh, I said they.
I was like, yes, and
It's like-
I get what you confused. Okay, got it.
Yes, I thought. Yes, not Amazon Prime. It's
But I said streaming services.
yes.
Watch me go back and edit this video and just, my mouth says Amazon Prime, but I come in and go streaming services. But yeah, let us know what you thought in the comments down below. And you can always follow us on Twitter and Twitch at Professor Thorgy. She's at Toon Scribbles. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning out and come back next time. Bye.
Bye.
Show's really good.